Hello everyone, Peter here, Piotr Fissner. Welcome into the second part of the CCTV system repair SWAN with double N. So yeah, let's put the screws away, the cover away, and let's talk about the issue, okay? So originally I was thinking that there is a problem with this device because customer brought it in as a HDD replacement, so he bought an HDD, and as per tutorials he's seen online, you know, he thought that he will replace the HDD and everything will be back to normal. So I did open it. I did plug in the small hard drive, 2.5 inch, not 3.5 inch, the smaller one, and was fine. Then I plugged in this drive again, not recognizing, yes, and this drive didn't have proper noise. Then I've put the original one, which is still in this packaging, I put it back, and it was the same, and still I couldn't hear the sound. So I knew that the 12 volt doesn't work on that. So I've started to check, and the 12 volts wasn't stable. I didn't have a meter to measure the capacitance for the capacitors, so I took them out and I blindly, you know, I didn't even take them out. I said to the customer, you know, if he want to blindly just order them, it's the cheapest chips. They are cheapest chips, yes. So I've ordered them. They came. I replaced them. You've seen in the part one, yes. And so that's my machine to print out now the labels. So it's working fine. But you know, I've changed those capacitors as you've seen in the part one, and I thought it will fix. Well, unfortunately, we've seen the same problem, so I measured the MOSFET, which is driving the 12 volts, which then gives to the capacitors enough, you know, energy so that it can let go to the hard drive in the like stable mode, yes, so the 12 volts is stable. Unfortunately, you know, I've checked the IC which was driving it, it was still giving me 12 volts with ups and downs, yes. So I said to myself, if I will inject 12 volts from my lab power supply here, yes, that power supply. So I took it off the hard drive from the wire, I disconnected, and I've plugged in my alligator's clip, and I've placed the 12 volts, and I'm saying 12 volts, I need about less than 2 amps. So I've increased the current and switch on the CCTV. Guess what? Works like a charm. So the fault is in that 12 volts. 5 volts I've checked, and it's stable as stable can be. No problem. Okay, so we know we've got a problem with a line 12 volt. So I said suddenly, if the IC is good, which is giving me 12 volts, then the power has to come from the power adapter. And as I've checked here on this small print, you can read and you count, because it's not vivid, but I can read you that it's 12 volts and 1 amp, which I can't read just now because my eyesight is not that great. But I know because I've checked it under the magnifying glass from one of the customers, which I get, yes. And I've seen it that it's a 12 volts and 1 amp. Now, as I just checked on my lab power supply that it's taking 1.8 amps, how the heck manufacturer thought that 1 amp power supply will work ever? I don't know. I wrote to the customer that maybe by any chance he would know something that accidentally these were swapped and that's not the original power supply, but customer said that no, that's original, that was always there, you know, I didn't do anything with that, and so on. But I see that both of these hard drives are consuming 1.8 amp. So I couldn't do anything else but say to the customer, let's order 3 amps, 12 volts, yes? Because that makes sense. So I went on eBay and I've ordered for a few quid 12 volts and 3 amps. That's 3 amps. I don't know if the plug is correct. I didn't check, it just came, so that's why I'm recording this video. But we've got an adapter which I can then connect wires to, and I can connect that 12 volts. And because that's stable 12 volts, I'm happy with it, you know, no problem. So, I don't know, really guys, I don't know, is it really what customer is saying is true? I don't know. And to be true, you know, if power supply is showing me 1.8 amps, that hard drive is taking, because I plugged in the 12 volts straight to the hard drive. I didn't plug it in to the unit, so we need to calculate that there is a 5 volt usage, there is a mainboard usage of this one, yes, so the whole mainboard has to take some current as well. So 1 amp power supply, really? That's a bit odd, wouldn't you say? Yes. This manufacturer is nuts if thought that it's true, or there is some other issue. Let's plug it in, but the inner core, not sure if the inner core will be okay. So you get a plus, polarity is plus inside and the minus outside. What about the polarity here? Plus inside, minus outside. So okay, let us check the power supply now, and let us plug it into the power. Okay, red is on. Let us plug the mouse. But that's not showing already, I see the problem. I don't want to do anything. Oh no, the mouse has the power. Okay, so now we need the HDMI. Whoa, that's unstable, guys. Ooh, okay, that's stable enough, and that's a bit worry because that's okay. That will do. I will just mount it a bit higher so that it's not causing any issues. Okay, so I don't see the light, the power light on the Swan, which is not okay, but I see it stable on my desk, and we've got HDMI cable. So let's plug this cable in, and we don't have any power. Okay, so that's a bit worrying because yeah, smart me. Yes, so okay, guys, I'm sorry, it's just me. When I was doing it, I didn't connect everything, but I thought that when I'll be doing it, I will take it apart anyway. So we need to get a few screws out. Good that I still got 20 minutes. Okay, what's at the back? Should be okay. Screw this off. That screw is off. Okay. I didn't put all the screws in. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that's what I did. So let me plug in back the 12 volt. Okay, so the 12 volt is back in. Now I'll connect those. 1 and 2, and now the hard drive connector, and now let us plug in again those two thingies. I mean the mouse. Yes, the mouse. What I was trying to check is where's my mouse, my WeChip mouse, because that has keyboard. So that should work fine. If nothing will be burned in a minute, because we've got 3 amps now. Now HDMI plugged in, and now the power. Where is our 3 amps? Where's our 3 amps? Where is our 3 amps? Exterminate, exterminate. Brilliant! And I hear the proper sound of the hard drive now. Now it's a hard drive sound. Let's switch to the HDMI. And we've got a swan, and there will be an issue, or there will be no issue of the of what? Of the hard drive. Okay, so it's still loading. Let's wait. 3, 2, 1. Yay! You see? And there's no issue with the hard drive anymore. So I don't have a mouse now, which is a bit bad. But will I have a keyboard? No. Okay, need to plug their mouse, the Swan mouse, which I can plug in at the front, which is okay. And I can restart this device. Oh no, I've got it. Got it. So okay, can I put here the password? But I don't see the issue with the hard drive anymore. Will I be able to type now? Shift. No, this keyboard, that's pathetic, because I was trying to use my WeChat mouse, my WeChat keyboard. Okay guys, so I will switch to my camera because I can't show you myself, and I'll pause it, and I'll just, because I can't use this WeChat, that's okay. But it's a shame, because that's why I bought it, for those small things. Anyways, so I'll be back. I will just type the password. Okay guys, so I'm inside, and look, in the device section we see that the state is okay, and we've got 931 gigabyte space. We can format it, yes, and the drive is fine. So unfortunately, client has bought the hard drive, the Barracuda, yes, Seagate, and he will have it, not needed, to be true. Because why he needs that, yes? He doesn't need that. So I don't know how much customer have paid for it. It shouldn't be dear, yes? It shouldn't be dear, but it's up to the customer what customer wants. If he wants to keep this hard drive just in case, or if customer wants, let's say, wants to send it away, I don't know what customer wants. I don't think customer can send it because it's not a fault of the person who sold it to him or the company. It's just that unfortunate that this customer thought that he can resolve the issue on his own. Not always, as we see, you can resolve issues on your own. I've wasted the time, my and customer's time, because I thought I know, my assumption is right, but I just see, I bought capacitors unnecessarily, which in my case I will use them to something, yes? And those old capacitors from the customer, which I will check the capacity now with the capacitance, because I bought the meter, it will come in the next few days. If the capacitance of those capacitors is good, it will go to the same pile of all the capacitors, 220 and 470 microfarads. Why you need to throw things which are holding the capacitance. But at the end of the day, it's a fix. It's not a no fix, it's a fix. The only issue was the 12 volts, 1 amp power supply, to be true. So now the question is what customer wants, yes? The only thing which I didn't apply was the filter, yes? Will it matter? To be true, I don't think so. I really don't think so. If that would be my one, would I worry about it? No. I wouldn't worry about it. I would just use it the way it is. I wouldn't worry about this filter, and any interference will show up yes, if they will show up, but I don't think so. The technology is made the way that it shouldn't. Even without this filter, you know, I know that it's extra precaution, yes, and in some cases it's the law, but in this case it's fine, I'd say. I'll let customer know about it, don't get me wrong, and if customer wants extra filter, we can order it from eBay or damage this one, put it on the cable and insulate it. That's not a problem. But I'd say that if this would be my problem, I wouldn't worry about this filter at all. Yes, I wouldn't worry. I'll charge the customer for the labor. I'll charge customer for the power supply. It's not getting hot or anything, and I'll check with my thermal camera as well, the electronics, if there is no overheating here of certain component. I had this cable here from the mouse and keyboard, which is supposed to work in this set. That's micro USB, that's the same as my thermal camera. So I don't know, it should be here somewhere, but I placed this mouse keyboard here, so... Oh yeah, there is. Got a thermal camera. I can plug that in and see if there's no overheating of any components by now. I'll be happy to put everything, like all the screws back. Okay, we got it. So what do we have? Yeah, it's 36, 37 degrees in the main chipset. 43, yeah, that's still acceptable. 43, 44. What else is heating here? No, the rest is my leg, so that's okay. On the main board is only heating two things. One is the small chipset, which has a good radiator. Yes, it's fine. And it has 40 degrees as well. And there is a 43 degrees. So I'd say that's enough, because this doesn't go to extremes. Yes, so I would just leave it 40, yeah. 40 in the small one. 36, 37, yeah, 43, I need to be closer, a bit closer, and 44, yeah, so we can leave it safely, because it doesn't go much above that, yes, it shouldn't go much above that. Now the last thing which I will check is the voltage. Is it stable now, stable 12 volts, or it's not a stable 12 volts, because if it's stable 12 volts, I'd like to show it to you. Okay, you see my water, you see my cup for the water, but the most important is you see the meter, and that's 20 volts digital, yes, DC. So let's see. Yeah, look, now it's stable 18.6. Before it was jumping, yes, jumping from 11.0 to 11.86 like that, yes, so it couldn't be stable, but now it's brilliant, it's stable. I'm super happy. So these capacitors are soldered the right way, and let's check 5 volts now, which was fine anyway. 503, yes, very good. So you get everything. I'm super happy. I call it a fix, and customer should be happy with this equipment now. I'll put screws back together, let customer know that he can collect it if he wants, and if customer want to save up some money, I could offer the customer some money for the Seagate Barracuda, and I could keep it because I'll use it eventually to some project one way or another. So yeah, so I could keep it, and this way customer could save up some money if customer wants. If no, a customer can pay me for the labor and for the power supply. That's it. I don't know if you have any questions about it, but that's a weird one. That was a weird one. And the power supply, which is built always, and then there are micro power supplies on the main board. I'll show you here. So we've got those coils, yes. These coils are creating small power supplies. This. I know it's not vivid, I know it, guys. So this is these coils, and in a laptop you can see them bigger ones. These are small coils which take one current and change in voltage and change into another one, yes? And then after that you might have some additional components. So you've got here capacitors, yes, you might have some another MOSFET or something else, you know, like depend how the power supply is built. But then when the incoming current is going to the chip which is managing, yes, when that one has a fault, then that's mean not this power supply, the small power supply, which is a part of the bigger power supply, yes, power rail. So we've got like a power supply, the main power supply, which is coming into the device, yes. Then it's main power rail coming out from this power supply. Now this power rail is split into smaller power rails, yes. So like with PC you've got a RAM management, VGA management, yes, like a graphic management. You've got BIOS or chipset, something which drives, yes, KBC or whatever it is. So you've got all those components which requires power supplies. Now these power supplies will have those coils, yes. So when you see those coils, you know that these are small power supplies. But when you check this power supply, which should give you stable 12 volts, or in this case 1186, which is 12 volts when you unplug the device, yes, but it should be stable. When you see it, you know, like amplitude, yes. Then you're checking backwards, you're going back. So you're checking before the capacitors, there is usually a MOSFET, yes. So you're checking the MOSFET and the inlet and the outlet, yes, and you still see that it's not stable. Then you're going back, yes, that's IC which is driving this, it's still not stable, yes. Then the current which is coming in, it's coming from the main rail, you're checking the main rail and you've got still unstable. And then what's happening, you're checking the power supply, yes, and then you check and there is a cluster fault. It's only 1 amp. So that's why, although I shouldn't even open it and I should just replace the power supply for 3 amps, it happened, you know. I've got another experience, a weird one, but it's another experience for me. And then next time I will think twice before opening any device if I will check that the power supply is wrong. Okay, we've got 40 degrees. The closest I can get is 44. Okay. 40, 44, 45 when I'm touching the surface. Same here. Okay, so I've checked, it was working for some time and it's not giving any overheating, so I'm happy to give it to the customer and call it a fix. Thank you guys. See you in the next video. Bye bye.